What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So in today's video we have PKA level 100. We've finally made it. So I have 3 different teams taking on this this piece of content. Now the thing is the PKA has slightly changed from previous seasons in the way that you should be approaching this, because what would happen beforehand is that you would try and run, you know, as many boosters as you possibly can in order to get as many drops as you could, because you only had a window of like, what, 8 or 9 days to acquire all of the 500 rainbow turtles in order to get all of those major missions done. They have altered that, so now all you have to do is get to level 100, and then there's additional missions for acquiring the 500 turtles still, but those ones are permanent throughout the entire month, so there's no time gating. The only time gate is getting to level 100 in Pirate King Adventures. So it's actually much easier to acquire all of the rewards now, although they have changed the rewards slightly in regards to you receiving a little bit less rainbow gems, but you do acquire rainbow tavern medals. So there's both positives and negatives to both sides of things, but ultimately I think more people will acquire more rewards with this new system. So ultimately it's not a major deal that you don't really use point booster characters, because you know, you have all month to get these turtle missions done, so it's really not the end of the world. So this team that you're seeing here doesn't use a single boosted unit on the team. We're just running characters that can get through it as fast as possible, and of course if you're trying to get through content as fast as you can, then the 10th anniversary ace is going to be a great option as a captain. And the fact that he resists special reverse is also a major deal, because there is a decent amount of that in this content, because they really want you to use the new Brook as one of the captains. Another reason why Brook is good as one of the captains is because of his innate ability to start the content off at 20% HP. So having a way to reduce your health before you reach the final stage is important, because if you do reach stage 5 and you have over 50% HP, there are going to be additional gimmicks. The additional gimmicks are where the enemy will give you a pain debuff, obviously pretty bad, and also they have an orb damage reduction, so you can only damage him with anything that is not a type slot, recovery, tandem, or Wano. If you have one of those slots, you basically do no damage, so it's pretty harsh. So you want to be below that 50% threshold so you don't get those nasty debuffs. So in this team comp, we're going to be using this combo of the Broggy and Dorry legend, who came out with Shanks versus Kid, because they have the ability to resist blowaway. We've got the 10th anniversary ace as our friend captain, so both of these captains have the ability to boost free spirit characters predominantly. We do have the Kid on this team, which is a bit of a weird choice, but he does get around the damage reduction on stage 4 and the significant health cut, which is really good. And then of course we do have the Garp as well. Garp is really important, because Garp can reduce your health, and he also allows you to just generate really good slots for the previous stage. And then we also have Nami and Karina, because Nami and Karina are just one of the best characters in the game, being able to generate really nice buffs. And then the Sabo addition to this team is another really cool character, just to enable you to remove the burn on the final stage, because you're going to be at such a low HP threshold. Getting around the burn can be a little finicky, so having Sabo just to remove that is really nice. And then his EX Super allows you to generate a full board of tandem slots for the crew. So this team actually will do a pretty sizable amount of damage, and because you have Garp and Ace on the team, you can actually trigger a Super Tandem ability as well, just to add even more damage on top of it. The secondary team for this one is going to be utilizing, the new Brook as a friend captain. So if you still want to run a team that is still going to give you some additional drops, Brook as a friend is going to help out a lot. And because you're using Ace as the other captain, I mean, Ace is going to be able to carry you pretty far. The free-to-play Sentomaru as well that we had from the Grand Feast Sugo Fest, as well as the S-Bear free-to-play character. Those are two characters that I know a lot of people are using to have that crewmate ability to resist blowaway if you're not using a blowaway resistant captain. So that's why we have the Sentomaru on the team. And then as for the other characters, Nami and Karina, again, because they're just so good for stage 4, they give you an orb boost, they get around a lot of different debuffs, getting around the damage reduction based effects and removing attack down. Just really, really nice to have. The Kuzan is a great addition to the team too, because Kuzan does have the innate ability to reduce your own HP, which can kind of help you get around the stun debuff and stuff. I think he removes bind and he gives you chain related effects. Mihawk is nice because he can generate an orb boost for Slasher Free Spirit, so because we're predominantly focusing on Free Spirit for this squad, it really helps out. And then by using the Mihawk special first, when we activate our Ace special, because we already have an orb boost, he's going to give us the ignited conditional boost instead. So, you know, kind of having that redundancy effect just to ensure that all specials are actually going to be giving us net positives. Brook, of course, provides us the ability of color affinity boost. He also gives us a really good chain multiplicative buff, and the super class of Brook will enable us to get a 95% damage reduction so that we can tank the death hit of Kizaru on stage 5. So, not really too much to focus on here. We're using some key characters from the previous team, but using some characters that are a little more accessible with the Kuzan, the Mihawk, and the Sentomaru. So if you've been playing for any extended period of time, you will likely have these free-to-play characters that had been releasing in the Grand Feast Sugo Fest or on previous PKA adventures. So that's going to wrap it up with me for this one, and we'll go ahead and move on to the final clip of the video. The final clip here is up against Kizaru at level 100 plus, and this is going to be my own personal team that I'm using. I actually have made some slight changes. I'm going to be taking the Strength Vegapunk out, but if you do that, you do have to make sure that you add a Scientist, Logia, or a Straw Hat character in his place, just to ensure that Franky's Captain ability has the effect to remove damage threshold with the Super Bomb slot when you tap on him, because he does have that really strange condition. So I'm going to be replacing it with someone to remove the burn, because this team does not have a way to remove the burn. So eventually when we get deeper into the PKA at higher levels, we want to actually start hitting perfects just to ensure that we are doing, you know, substantial damage. So by taking Vegapunk out, we do need to replace him. I do have the Arlong on the crew. Literally the only reason why he's here is to remove the stun effect, because with the way that this content kind of works, there isn't really an effective way to get around the special reverse on stage 3 when I'm using S-Bear in the middle row, because I'm using S-Bear for the ability to get around the attack down on this stage. So because of that, if we run him in the middle row, his special won't be ready for stage 4, unless of course you ultimately stall a bunch on stage 3, which I don't really want to do. So Arlong can remove stun, which makes S-Bear ready to go. And then on the final stage, we basically just use everything else. But for Vegapunk, we're going to switch him out for someone to remove the burn. I am thinking like quick final tap Luffy might be a decent option. And then we can also use the support of like Mistems, which can give you 3 turns of cooldown when you're inflicted with special reverse, just to ensure that the Luffy is ready for the final stage. I think that might be a valid option. We'll see how things go moving forward. But the ships that we use here as well, we're using the fully upgraded version of the, what's it called, the Guild Tesoro ship. That ultimately isn't required either, so I'm probably going to switch that up for the Ho ship just to give us a bit more cooldown reduction. Probably going to be a valid option too. But of course, you know, it really is dependent up to you. You don't really have to run a bunch of dupe dropping units because, you know, the actual missions to acquire 500 turtles are no longer time gated, so you have plenty of time to do that. So it is up to you at the end of the day, but if you get the missions done faster, you can acquire those rewards quicker. Ultimately, something that you can do as well is just completely ignore PKA altogether and only complete the missions when you want to go ahead and spend some of those Rainbow Tavern medals, because it's exactly how it works. However, you do want to get this content done at some point, because likely the free-to-play Kizaru that you require through playing this mission is probably going to be a point booster in some content moving forward, so do keep that in mind. So that's going to wrap it up from me. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.